Welcome, love. Welcome to our channel. Today we're talking about relationships and how to better relationships. And there are three types of relationships. We have your level 1, level 2, and level 3. So, level 1 is the type of relationship where you extract, where you're always getting something from someone just for you. This can be where you tend to be selfish and want something all the time for you and you never give back. So that's level 1. Level 2 is the type of relationship that it's almost like a covenant. You give and you return. So there's an exchange, give and take, give and take. Most of us can be in a type of relationship which is level 2 where we're giving and taking. And those type of relationships tend to last a long while. But the type of relationship we want to be in is level 3. Level 3 is a type of relationship where you give and the other person also gives, but you don't have to say it. It's automatically done. There's that reciprocity. So that's the type of relationship you want to be in, where both parties are giving in equal exchange, but without expecting it and without saying it's just it just happens because the love is there. So with that said, we're going to talk about how to better our relationships. This can be with a spouse, this can be with a mother, father, anybody, your significant other. And then we have our two wonderful expertise next to me, and they're going to be sharing something that has worked for them in their relationships, and let's see what they have to say.
Do you want to go first?
Sure. And within those levels, I would probably say that we're probably level 3 with my significant other. We've been together for a very, very, very long time. I do get asked very often how it is that we have come so far, especially because of the type of people that we were when we were younger. And I think we understand that we don't expect something from each other, and it's just something that we just love each other so much that we just kind of do it automatically without expecting it. And so we support each other, whether it's bill wise or love, whatever the case is, we just are always giving to each other and returning. And I think what also probably helps, and a lot of people don't like doing this, but is allowing each other to like breathe, like getting each other to like, if you want to go with your girlfriends, you can go with the guys. I think socializing with other people is very, very important. And I think that's what's taken us pretty far. And they're not calling constantly either, like, hey, well, where are you at? And how come you're not home at this time? And, but still have that respect. You better show up home. You know what I mean? Not at 4 or 5 in the morning, but showing up, girl. And I think,
3:59 a.m.
which there was a time that did happen, but it never happened again. And we were just kind of lost. We had a little too much to drink with the girls. But one other thing that a lot of people do not agree with, we do not share a bank account. We both split the bills in half. The money that comes in from my end, he doesn't question me what I spend my money on, and vice versa. Yeah, like if we're going overboard and we're like, hey, do you have money I could borrow? Or, then yeah, there's a problem there. But we've never really hit that. But I have been asked a lot of times if we share a bank account, and we don't. And I think so those two things would be like socializing and not sharing a bank account. And loving each other purely, girl, because a lot of times nowadays people really don't. They just don't respect that. And it's crazy the way that love is for a generation. Because older from us, I mean, people have been married freaking 50, 60 years, it's crazy. Yeah. And you don't really see that anymore. So
yeah, that's true.
Now, one thing is though, me and Leo are not legally married. I would say it's common law. We've been together for such a long time. I know religion wise and stuff like that, people do, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you're not. But I don't know. I think if it's real love, you don't necessarily, maybe in the future, but right now it's just not something that's too important for us.
Nice. Do you want to, well, before you share your story, because then she won't let us talk. Just kidding. So going back to B, can I share how long you've been married or commonly together?
Yeah. It's 17 years.
close to 20 years, guys. So take that advice. The legal paper, that's up to you. That's your choice. Based on religion, based on laws, whatever works for you, that's on you. But we're sharing the things that have worked for us. So B, I know the love is there every time we see you guys together. It's genuine. There's that exchange of energy. There's no question about it, and that's what works for you guys. So
Definitely.
keep that in mind, guys. You don't have to follow the norms. It's your life. It's your guidance. At the end of the day, it's your beliefs. Whatever makes you feel right. If you're doing something but inside you're not happy, that's something that you need to check, process it. Remember, this life is yours and you came to live it and learn your particular lesson. So just take that into consideration. And right here, we're not showing no disrespect to religion, to your sexual preference. We're not discriminating. This goes for heterosexuals, LGBTY, X, Y, and C. I know they're gonna add those letters soon. So it's for everyone. And before that, Sun has a great story to share that is going to open your mind and see a relationship in a very different way.
So in a relationship, either way, it doesn't matter man or woman, woman, man. But there's the entity that is more masculine, and then there's the entity that's more feminine. So either way, think of it as like a clam, where the masculine entity is the shell, which protects what's always inside of a clam.
A diamond.
Pearl.
Oh.
A pearl. So the pearl is made by the clam, and it's precious in there. And what it does, it protects the pearl from everything in the outside, correct?
Okay.
So say for instance, that's how a man should be, or the male entity in the relationship should be. Which, when you think of a male, you think usually of somebody that's strong, somebody that provides, somebody that gives. And that's actually what the clam is actually doing for the pearl. It's providing a shelter, it's providing protection, it's providing warmth, whatever it needs inside the shelter or inside the clam, right? And what does the woman provide for the clam? Or the pearl provide for the clam?
Beauty. Softness.
It provides all that and the sense of being. So you, as
Ah.
whoever is the female entity or the more delicate person in the relationship, then you are providing the stronger entity the sense of why I'm protecting you, the sense of why I'm giving to you. And that's actually what the male or the masculine entity does. It gives to the woman and the woman receives. Therefore, once the seed is planted in the woman, it brings out what we would think a child, correct?
Yeah.
But in a relationship, it could be a home. The woman provides a home, the woman provides
Meals.
the meals, the warmth, the caring, this is why you're coming to me, this is why you're coming back home, because of the love, the warmth, the shelter that she gives to the man once, or the male, or the masculine entity. So that's what a woman does, and that's how you should view a relationship, as a clam, where the masculine or the stronger entity is the protection, the home, the outer texture of the structure, and then the female is the inner structure, the more
love
delicate
that.
one.
And if I can add to that, when you are fresh into a relationship, all of that plays effect. And then the people end up cheating, or just, end up with someone else, whatever the case. I think people tend to forget that, yeah, you'll probably get that feeling again with the whole other person. But then after you've been together for such a long time, it goes back to that daily lifestyle, the repetitiveness, but also reminding yourselves, what created that spark at the beginning. Because a lot of people tend to forget that. They get bored, they get attention somewhere else, and then it's like, oh, I remember we used to feel like this. I don't have that at home anymore. But it's like you got to remember what can you do to spark up the relationship? Go out and have dinner or go to the movies, you know, certain things.
And adding to that too, the pictures that we have at home, that's anchoring. Anchor your relationship to something. It's going to get mundane, like Bianca's saying. So it's going to get repetitive. But if you anchor your relationship to a memory, that can be a picture of a family reunion or a family trip. So every time you tend to forget what you have bonded, you look at that picture anchors the relationship, and it reminds you how much you loved each other and your family, and you'll come back to senses. I mean, guys, I told Bianca last time we went out, there's always going to be attraction from someone else besides your significant other or your
Oh,
spouse.
yeah, you will always be. There are temptations everywhere. It's crazy.
But the thing is, it's impossible for that not to happen, but it's not crossing boundaries. You can have a great friendship and that's it, but anchoring your relationship to what you've been through. Because 17 years, if you go with someone else, there's no history. You have to start all over
Get to know each other
and get to know
again.
each other and get to build trust. There's a family already. So there's that bond. You know, if you're going to start a relationship all the time, you're going to be 60 years old. You never settled. You're going to be alone. Yeah, you might have had a lot of great memories that were gone in a blink of an eye, but there's nothing that you can show for or think of, or you actually build a relationship because either you didn't want to give in, or it was always your way or the highway. And then,
Or weren't accepting either. A lot of
or
women
that
don't.
too.
Yeah.
So there's
They
always
can take it.
Analyst, yes, of
Yes.
course.
And that's another great point to add to this is set time in your relationship for conversation.
Yes.
And what I mean by conversation is that, like how Brenda just said, if you feel like, oh, we haven't gone out, or I'm losing that spark, or I don't feel the flavor anymore in our relationship, tell you that person,
Mhm.
you know what? When was the last time you and I went to a movie, or when was the last time we had a romantic
Open
dinner
up, speak up.
without the kids, or X, Y, and Z, whatever it might be for you? Then let the man or the other person know what you feel is missing, so that person can provide it back again.
Yes, before I forget. So there's two things I want to also teach you guys. Number one, have meetings. Have meetings with your significant other. This can be at dinner, this can be over coffee. Always have a meeting with your person and talk what's going on in your life, what's going on in my life. This is what we need to improve. This is where it's going great. This is where we need to come together when it comes to parenting. This is what we need to do for the future. Always stay in that communication. If you want to do it over, I don't know, a dinner, whatever it is that you want to do, have those constant meetings and schedule them. Have them be part of your DNA, part of your schedule. So that's something that's going to help you stay in communication. The other thing that I learned over the weekend, I don't know if it was this weekend or last weekend, is learn to have your boundaries and set schedules for people. This day is going to be your day. This day is going to be whatever day. And that's going to help you build relationships too. And always remember this. Always, it's going to be God first, your entity first, whoever you believe in first. And then is yourself. And then is your spouse, your children, and then everybody else. A lot of the times we put our children first, but the children, they're going to leave. So remember, take care of your significant other. They're the person that are going to be there for the rest of your life.
With that idea of like speaking up, I think the opposite person who's receiving the information also learning how to accept all of those things too. You know, because, you know, you can be telling this person, like, I feel like you just don't hug me like you used to, or you're no longer calling me during your break time, or whatever the case is. It's like accepting it. You know what I mean? Like, you know what, you're right, I haven't, you know, it's because I've been so busy, I'm not taking my break anymore, or I'm sorry that I haven't really been more affectionate with you, like responding to it instead of, yes, I do. Like, because some people, I've seen it. I've seen it happen where they'll come to me like, what do I do? Well, speak up. The same thing you're telling me, go off and tell them, and then see what they say. And then the opposite person's like, what? No, that's not true. And yeah, so accept it.
And be able to give whatever you're trying for the other person to listen to you, but also learn to receive. If that person, well, because you haven't done this, and it's like, oh wow, I didn't know that. So then also be able to give and receive back and forth, because that's what a relationship is all about. It's about learning how to make it work. And another thing in a relationship is knowing who's who. It could be male and female, but nonetheless, if the female is a very feminine female, then if the male is not a strong male entity, the relationship's not going to work because she's too feminine. Therefore, learning how to define your relationship. Who am I in this relationship? Am I too strong of a woman? Then the male has to be a little bit softer to balance each other out. Remember, it's like a yin and yang. If you both are very strong, now don't get me wrong, there's relationships where it has worked. They make it work somehow. But when they're coming together, there has to be a given thing. Either one will be stronger than the other, and that other person will allow that person to be the strong entity. It could even be the female who calls the shots, but there has to be that acknowledgement in the relationship.
That's a very good point. And I don't know why you're talking about that, and I'm just thinking of Men Prefer Them Blonde with Marilyn Monroe. If you guys have the chance to watch that movie, at the end it gives you the message. So it's very important. Like it says, if you want that beauty, there's nothing wrong with wanting the beauty, but it's almost like, of course, the opposite party would like a man that has the means to give. So just watch the movie. I don't want to like spoil it, and it's going to make sense to what Sun is saying, but that's very true. That's very true. Like the entities need to match in order for things to work out. Do you want to add something else?
I do. I actually remember when I had first met you, I was really big about like trying to succeed in life, and was telling you like that I'm constantly pushing my significant other to go to school or find a different job and just be better. And that was when my career was like kicking off, and I had talked to you about it, and you were like, you know what, B, sometimes you just have to accept that if they're happy and they're providing and you guys are financially okay, and just accepting that he's fine where he's at, and sometimes you just have to let him be, like leave him alone, and within my perfection ways, like I need to be perfect in everything in my own way, obviously, right? Learning to accept that was hard until like I was like, you know what, she's right. He's happy financially, we're fine. Now he's going to school, he decided that on his own now, but at that time he just wasn't ready. It was just not something that he wanted, and you being okay with that. And instead of getting pissed off and going to find someone else because they have more money or, their goals are different. Like, no, if you're with someone, you're going to stick through thick and thin. I think that's very, very
And
important.
I think to what she, Queen Bee just said, is be careful when you're trying to change somebody.
Yes.
Because a lot of the times, let's just say that person will never change because that's who that person is. But let's say you do achieve the fact that you make the other person change, and then that spark that you had for them, it's lost because maybe that's what attracted you to them. So always be careful on what
That's
you're
true.
asking, and know that, hey, what if this person were to change to what I want them to be, will I still love them the same way? Maybe not. Maybe whatever is the one thing that's annoying you is actually the one thing that attracted you to them in the first place. So be careful when you're trying to change somebody.
Yeah.
I agree. I like them bad boys, and that's what attracted me to Leo. And now that he's doing better in life, and yeah, I think if he were to be too square, I would probably lose that spark.
Yeah, and remember one time I asked you, what if Leo were to really change to what you're asking for, would then you lose that attraction? You're like, you know what?
Yeah.
I think I like him, the bad boy that he is. Now everything within balance. If your man's being too of a bad boy and
Beating
really
you up. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
disrespecting you and all these things, then no, you don't need that. But if he's a bad boy, but it's something that he's just his essence,
Natural. Mm-hmm.
but he's not disrespecting you. He's giving you your place. He's providing for you. He's everything. Then by all means,
Can I add something to that? And it's very important for you to understand yourself, understand what do I like, what do I want, and also visualize in the future, because what you like today, you might not like it 10 years from today. So this is the thing that you need to realize. Know who you are. You cannot change people. And I'll be very honest with all of you. I had a 13-year relationship and I let it go because that person didn't want to excel. That person got stuck in life and was bringing me down, wasn't letting me propel. The love was there, but the changing, you can never change anybody. But the thing here is, there was no children, there was no nothing. So it's easier to move forward when there's no family. When you have family, think about it twice, because now there's children, that children need their parents. And if you're divorced, parents, don't be that type of person. Grow up. Don't be the one, I'm not going to talk to you. And you
can't see the kids.
Don't. They need you. My thing is here, who are you? What do you want? You cannot change people. If somebody's bringing you down, you need to go. You need to
friendships,
go.
Relationships, family.
Anything.
And that's a good thing that you say, and that's why dating is so important. And
I see. Que no se muevan together within that first month. Like, you haven't even smelled each other's farts and y'all already moved in with each other? Come on.
So yes, the dating is very important. And nobody say, I didn't see it coming. There are always signs of things. There's always signs, and always question. If you see somebody gets like uncomfortable when you ask them, well, and how's your mother, or something, it could always be something, then that's a red flag for you, and leave. The sooner the better. Go.
And that you want to see how that person's gonna treat you. Don't see it when they're with you. See how they treat their family, their brothers, their mom, their siblings, the homeless on the street. However they treat them, that's how they're going to treat you. And the thing is, guys, it's best when you let love come to you. When you're searching, most of the time we're going to search for the wrong thing. You're going to search for what you want. And guess what? Sometimes that's the wrong thing. Let it come to you. That person that's going to propel you, dream with you, fly with you, build memories with you, it's just gonna come to you, and you'll know. Don't be in a hurry. And if you're young, live life, travel, see the world, see other cultures before you bind with someone.
And doing that as being young, I think if you are dating somebody and you are planning to travel with a group of girls, or I don't know, do a solo trip, whatever the case is, and you're that little boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever is getting upset, like, no, you can't go alone. Like, no, I don't trust you. Excuse me, first of all, we aren't even married, and you're already feeling that type of way. There should be enough trust to be able to allow each other to go on little mini vacations if it's not together.
Oh, and one thing...
No, go ahead.
To add to that... Oh, no, you go.
No, I was going to say I should have brought a red flag. It would have been cool.
So one thing to add to all that is... and this is something that Brenda said, is knowing yourself. Have moments to just yourself, to journal, to read, and
scream at the top of your lungs if you need to.
Yes, and to know yourself and what you want. Because a lot of the times you ask somebody, hey, what do you like? and it's like, I don't know. It's like, then how are you going to know how your significant other should be and should treat you if you don't even know how to treat yourself?
Saberse valorar, learn how to value yourself.
Value
I think you
yourself.
need to teach that on the kids at a very young age.
Yes, and set up very, very healthy, clear boundaries. Even with friendship, you need to have those boundaries where, you know what, don't cross it. And if you do, well, our relationship as a friend will be lost. So always learn that, but you will never learn it unless you know yourself.
Yeah, and guys, and then don't be the person that it's always how you want things. Allow things to fluctuate. Things don't work that way. Sometimes we don't even know boundaries with people,
To
right?
me, I love shit my way.
So, oh, that's where that came from. Now it makes sense, guys. No, I'm just kidding. So know the boundary. If you pass the boundary and there was a problem, apologize. Don't do it again, and then move forward. Because that's another thing too. When you're building relationships, it's about to knowing each other and getting to build that trust. So it's a process, guys. Everything goes by levels or steps. What else?
How important do you think sex is in a relationship?
Oh, comment that down below.
Oh yeah, comment down below. And also, guys, if you can subscribe, please. We need subscribers. I want to start hitting lives, and then we'll go back to the question. Who do you want to answer that question?
It don't matter.
And then
As far as sex is concerned,
Yes.
I think I believe like at the beginning, it is very, very healthy and natural to have sex because that's when passion. Now, please be
See, where's the
careful.
napkin?
Use the little gorrito, the little hat, the cap, the
tuxedo,
whatever you want
Yeah,
to
if it's
call
a
it,
fresh
the
relationship,
raincoat,
yeah.
whatever you want to call it. Use it. And
Important.
be careful out there. Always know. And another thing, if you're barely starting a relationship, it's always healthy. Hey, let's go get tested. You know,
Oh, that's a very good point.
and because keep in mind that it's more than just you're exposing your whole life ahead by having intimacy with whoever it is. You are exposing yourself to whatever it's almost like credit. I've seen people take care more of their credit than themselves and their health. Why would you do that when if there's no more you, then who cares about the credit? So if you take care of your credit, then take care of your health and ask your significant other, especially if you're starting, hey, let's go get tested before we do anything.
And even afterward, get tested quarterly, yearly, whatever. You don't know what's going on, and you don't know what that person can bring to you, and not so much to you than to your family. So getting tested, please try to do that. I don't know,
Every 6 months.
And if you, why not? And if you have a little bit of doubt, then go do it. Your health is the most important thing, and that's something that's very good.
Yes, and
very good.
another thing as a woman, take care of yourself because if you don't want children, then make that clear, but also take care by either using whatever contraceptive you can in order to protect your future as a woman. Because keep in mind, if you're a young lady going to college and then all of a sudden you have a baby that wasn't planned, then that's going to ruin everything. Not to the point where, oh my
Doesn't mean
God,
you can no longer do it, but it'll just get
but
harder.
it'll be just a little bit harder, and especially if you don't know the other person, how they're going to respond to you. Imagine you're now left with a responsibility for God knows how many years, which you weren't expecting. So women out there, take care of yourself. Ask for tests. Ask for protection. Who cares if he doesn't carry the condom? You carry it for them.
And another thing is value yourself. Value yourself as a woman because you're worth it. And remember, not anyone should come and penetrate or whatever. And it'd be, I'm probably like ruining your question here.
Oh, dang, you guys
But-
took it pretty far. No, I'm just kidding.
But the thing here is value yourself, who you're going to give yourself to. And sometimes just don't fall for the nice language. Like, really think about it. And if you're going through an abortion, or if you plan to do an abortion, also remember, once you get older, are you going to be able to deal with that mentally? So it's all these factors. It's not just living in the moment. You could live in the present moment, but also think about everything that's going to come with one choice. So going to your question B, this is like the
Wait,
answer.
before you continue with that
Okay.
question, what I did want to say with the whole valuing yourself, my husband recently was asked if he's ever cheated or why he doesn't cheat or if he finds other women attractive. And, his response, of course, well, it's like you said, temptation is everywhere. But he's like, why would I want to? And I thought, oh my God, that was so sweet. He was like, why would I want to go and cheat and have sex with just a random when I can come home to someone who I know is clean, hasn't cheated, and I can have sex whenever I want, instead of random women out in the open or wherever. Like, he's like, no, I have that at home. Why should I? I have someone who takes care of me. I have someone who will give me sex whenever I want it. And I was like, oh my God, that's really nice to feel that.
Yes.
So I think,
And that is very nice. And also, women, if you're in a relationship like that and your man's like, hey, I want you to dress up like Little Red Riding Hood, go for it. Who cares?
oh yes,
I mean, it's not going to hurt you. It's only probably you're gonna get a laugh out of it or whatever, and the relationship will be healthier, and you'll laugh at it. And that's always, laughter is the best medicine for anything, women. Please, please. That way you don't run the risk. She never wants to do anything new.
yeah.
Oh yeah, and if you're constantly having headaches too, please see your physician.
Wait, what does that have to do with me?
Let it sink, let it sink.
Okay, it'll sink in a little bit, and I'll answer the question in the meantime. And if it doesn't sink, I'll let you know. So how important is sex in a relationship? I believe it's very important. And once again, this is like, it depends on your view. Because if it's religion based and you're not married, then it's
this is like
it's
our
not good.
opinions.
But if it's earthly, if we're talking about flesh and we're talking about earthly laws, it's very important. It's the connection of two loves coming together and exchanging the love between each other. And of course, you want to change it up. You want to spice things up. It's definitely important because it's a connection. It's that human connection that you're having with that significant other. So obviously it's going to be important.
Why is stress, man? Let me tell you.
And really, and it's a great stress reliever.
I know what you guys.
And the headaches. Headaches will diminish. If you're always having headaches, guess what? They're gonna find someone that
doesn't
having the
have
headaches.
the headaches.
So now, if your spouse is being a jerk, obviously there's gonna be boundaries there. I mean, why make them feel like the emperor if the emperor doesn't deserve it, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, it's that exchange within you, and it's that exchange within your values, how you value yourself as a woman, how you were programmed growing up as a woman. What did your mom teach you? Do you believe what she believes? Do you have other beliefs? It all comes down to you and respecting yourself. And what do you want? And finding somebody that sees your points of view, and then they can be your mentor. You can ask them questions. It doesn't have to be always mom or, I don't know, somebody in your family.
No, go ahead.
And to that, because a lot of the times either there's some women that either the parents were very like, we don't speak about those things here, or they were absent, or they were too busy to even explain anything to you. But keep in mind, there's always books that will explain the value of yourself and how to love yourself and how to take care of yourself. And that
And
is
if
not,
they don't write it on, don't know how, that's where you two come in.
yes,
Teaching you.
and that's very important, because when you love yourself, then you know how to love another person, because you love yourself. And people can see when somebody's like, oh my God, that person loves themselves. Now keep in mind, there's always that person that thinks that the world revolves around them. You don't want that person at all.
I think that's when sex becomes really good too, because like you say, you've been with that person for so long and you can trust them, and they know what you like. And if they don't, you probably feel comfortable enough to correct, like, hey, a little left, a little right, a little down, whatever the case. I think.
Wiggle it.
Like Drake.
Oh, God. No.
Drake, no disrespect. We haven't seen it. Only her.
And if
No,
somebody
I haven't,
has
Leo.
Oh, never mind. None of us have seen it.
I'm kidding. Other question I have. How do you really think size matters?
Oh my God! Don't get me started with that.
And I ask you that because you know, like the science and like
So, guys, there is like, and this is a quick technique, right? Not a technique. Sorry, let me back that. This is a quick lesson. In India, there is a male entity and the male part and the female part, and each one has to match. I don't remember so much because I learned this a long time ago. So, for example, there is the elephant, which is the penis is going to be bigger, right? And then there is and then it has to fit in with a well, I'm just gonna say how I'm thinking, with a vagina that is big, a big penis with a vagina that is bigger. That is compatible. Then there's your rabbit. Your rabbit, it's smaller, it's gonna go with the smaller one. If you put an elephant with a rabbit, rapes, that's why they tear the women up. So you have to be mindful. Does this person fit with me? Are we gonna be compatible? Everything has a science to it, guys. And those are the things. So I do believe size matters. I know it's the whole society thing, the bigger the better or whatever. But if it's too big for you, is it gonna be better? It's gonna be painful. So it depends. It depends. But I believe size does matter.
And well, and in that thing, also keep in mind there's other ways as far as satisfaction is concerned. If, say for instance, that you can teach your partner, like, you know what, maybe you don't have a big penis, or you're not hitting the right spot, or something is not happening. There's other things that you can bring into the relationship. Mm-hmm. So I personally feel size matters as far as like comfort is concerned, but if it's not achieving the goal, then there's other things that you can bring into the table.
See, and that's where I think foreplay comes in too, because a lot of people will just go straight into it, and it's like,
oh no,
warm it up a little, just don't go straight into it.
And as a woman, always ask for that, because it's like a old, and I'm not saying because I'm old. No, I'm saying as a woman, you need to heat up that car. You need to heat up that motor. You need to, let the juices start going and everything. That way it works better.
And so, guys, also, and this goes for both parties, make your man feel like that emperor, whatever that means to him. And males, make that woman feel like the empress. If she just had a baby and she cannot have sex with you, give her some time. Don't be like, oh, I'm not going to touch down there. I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm like, no, she just had a baby.
Your baby.
So, so imagine that ripping and your baby coming out. I mean, respect and levitate to them. That day, bring them flowers. Make them feel like that queen, that empress, because guys, trust me, it's not easy. It's not pretty.
And I think what I was looking at the other day too, this gentleman was saying, like, kind of like teasing each other throughout the day. That way, when that time comes in the evening that you guys are together, it's like that lust is there, and it's like, I want you because you've been telling me all day what you wanted to do to me, or just little things, or how much you've been telling me you miss me, and now you want to touch me and you want to give me a hug, and at the end of the day, that time comes, and it's like, wow, like,
yes. And as a woman, make your man work for it, or the masculine entity work for it, because keep in mind, the male entity is by nature, back in the day, a hunter. He likes to hunt, and that's in their nature. So you need to entice it. You need to, I don't know if anybody has ever seen, like, animals actually, when they come together, how the female is like very coquette, and she's like, I don't know if I want you because there's somebody else, and so on and so forth. And the male's like, oh, she's so beautiful. You need to provoke that in your partner. Always, I know because believe me, I love the slick back and let's just go. But
We
and
know the
time
list.
and take time to bring the feminine out. Be playful. Be playful. I'm sorry, and be like, not today or something, and
Tease.
make your man work for that. And I assure you that if you do, it's going to even be more pleasurable for the other person because they had to go through this thing. Now, just don't lay there.
That's so funny you say that because
do a little bit of
there was a time
movement there.
where me and my significant other, we were going at it on the phones, and then the fucking comes home from work, and I'm like, like it never happened. He was like, bro, like really, you're gonna fall asleep?
So no, don't just like make them work and then don't do nothing. At least move
And
a
it's
little.
understandable, yeah.
Have a pulse there going. So yes, be playful. Make it playful for them. Now there's some people that are very serious and don't like to play around. And if that's your relationship,
Yeah.
you know what to do in order to entice the man to come to you. But always make them work for it.
Yes, and always add to your repertoire, and I don't mean just sexually, okay? Add new things to your repertoire. Maybe cook, and in the dish you cook with roses. Roses, it has that aromatic central feeling already. It's going to start arousing the person. Always add things to spice up that person, and I just don't mean it by like sexually, but there's things, rituals you can do that add to that point. So always, maybe it's a new language. You tell him I love you in French, or maybe you use it while you're having intimacy. You tell him something in another language. Obviously, pick a language that is central. Don't say it in Russian because you're gonna kill the moment. But add things to it, and then really levitate to that person. And the more you levitate, the external, the temptations, they start to dissipate. Even if they see them, they won't exist. So those are my tips that I have for today. Ladies, I don't know if you want to add something else. I feel this episode or this day was very spicy. I feel a little, oh my God, like I'm sweating. Yes, but I don't know if you want to add anything else.
Kind of completely switching, but we are talking about love and all that and affection. I think when it comes to also family and kids, because I know at the beginning we were saying like, how to teach with that too. But teaching your kids that, sometimes some people just need a hug, like the touch, the affection. Like I love giving my kids a huge hug, waking them up in the morning really nice, because when I was younger, there wasn't so much like affection, like the hugging or the saying I love you. And so I said that I was going to teach my kids that. And now that they've grown up, out of nowhere, they'll come to me and just give me a random hug. If my son, especially, he has my attitude. So there'll be times that he's in such a bad mood and I will just ask him for a hug and we'll exchange no words, but just that affection of just a huge bear hug. And he's okay. He'll go to his room and his face does change. His attitude changes. And I think that that's very big too.
And that's very true because the vibration of love will always change everything. Now, keep in mind that how she just said, teach your children to learn to love themselves and to love others, respect others, because that's the person that you're creating today will be the future of tomorrow. And that's our future for everybody.
And also, parents, be mindful if you're going to be teaching the bee and the pollen when your kid is 15, 16.
Oh, the birds and the bees. The birds and the bees.
That, I would suggest change it up. You need to teach them the real deal.
Yes, I created I created I YouTubed and I did a research to find ways to talk to my son, who is 13, by the way, about sex, about the female genitalia, the male genitalia. Because it's like you at some point you're gonna need to learn all these things and yeah, finding different ways to teach them.
Not only that, but because as a mother, you want your son or your daughter to know how to protect themselves.
Yes.
Because you don't want a baby having a baby and then where's the future now? Or I mean, it's not that they cannot, grow and be, productive, but then that baby just lost so much of their lives in traveling or in having fun in their lives. So, teaching at an early age is very, very good.
Yes, just for one spur of the moment, which probably they're not even going to like because they don't know what's going on. So be mindful, teach your
And
kids.
you'll know at what age, because I was asked a lot of like, what age is a good age to teach them, and there was a time where I thought he was ready because there were certain ways that he was talking, and then I kind of like started bringing certain things up, like questioning him, and he'd be like, what are you talking about? So I kind of just stopped, and I understood that he was just not ready for that conversation. And so,
But you as a parent, be ready for
Yeah.
that moment.
yes.
Yes, and if you want to start the B story, yeah, maybe when they're 6, 7,
Sí,
8.
pero cámbienle,
Pero
no,
sí,
yeah.
no, sí siguen
Be real, man.
with the same story when they're 21.
My mom
in
telling my
trouble.
sister when she was younger, a teen at that time already, she was still a virgin and was asking what it felt like, and my mom being old school was like, pues sientes costillitas, pues no sé, and I was like, no, you don't, like,
You
so
real
please.
tickle.
I was like, what the hell, mom? So yes,
Oh, my
please be realistic.
Be real. And teach your kids on how to, put a condom, even if it's a female. That way she knows how to protect herself. It's not just the man's responsibility, it's also the woman's, because the woman is the one that handles most of everything in the long run. So take care of yourself as a woman. I will never stop saying that. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself.
Value yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Respect your bodies.
Yes,
Both.
it's a temple.
Yes, respect your bodies. And you know what? That also sparked some idea. Maybe we can teach a course for those parents that cannot talk to their parents about the sexual,
Maybe we should.
and then just teach it. I mean,
Wait, what do you mean? The kid to teach the parents or teach the kids?
the kids with the parents,
Hey, that would
like
be
all
amazing.
together. Stay tuned. Yes, stay tuned for a lot of things. So
Yes.
guys, please subscribe. We want to start doing this live on YouTube, but we do need a little bit more subscribers. And of course, you can always reach us on Facebook.
Instagram,
Instagram.
TikTok. But yes, make sure you leave your comments too if you guys have any comments off of
Yes.
this.
Or any ideas for future videos, please let us know.
Yes. We love you guys. Happy Valentine's and stay safe.
Mwah. Bye.
Bye.